Hey, welcome to something I just decided to do a few minutes ago called the Friendship Series. This is going to be at least a month-long series of videos on this channel about friendship. And I have been wanting to do more themed content, so that's part of the inspiration for this. And the other inspiration is that it is February and Valentine's Day is around the corner. And so when I was looking at my editorial calendar for this year, I was thinking how I'd like this month to be about relationships. And this channel to me is a lot about friendships. So even though I'm going to call this the friendship series, really we could talk about anything, any type of relationship that you want. So you can use these videos as an opportunity to ask me questions about challenges you're going through and what my perspective is, and we can talk through it. The other big inspiration for this is because I really wanted to tell you guys that Eco Vegan Pal has finally relaunched, and it has been a very soft launch because I haven't well, I guess on Friday I started talking about it. I talked about it on my Eco Vegan Gal Facebook page and Eco Vegan Gal live video. So I suppose it's launched. I feel like there's just so much more that I could do with it. So it really feels like it's the beginning of a launch and a relaunch to it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Eco Vegan Pal is something that I've been working on for years. It is something that actually started in my head probably in 2013 or 14. I remember I was on a road trip on the East Coast, and I was approached by this company that was doing like daily emails or something. It was like a service they offered, and they asked if I wanted to be part of it, and I was, but there was something, it was weird because I don't think I got access to any of the emails they collected, which I thought was strange. And so it just felt like a weird system, and they ultimately ended up shutting the service down. But I really started to think about Eco Vegan Pal back then. That was actually where the name first came to me. And my concept for it was a way for me to build friendships with you guys, with anybody in this community, but also so that you wouldn't feel like you were alone, that you had somebody that was there for you. And as I continued to think about this idea, I realized how many people struggle with relationships, especially when it comes to their vegan lifestyle, their eco lifestyle, their health lifestyle. One of the most common things I hear is that people feel like they don't know anybody that they can relate to. And I think that's been one of my strengths as a content creator, is especially on this channel, is being somebody that hopefully you guys can consider to be a virtual friend. So that is where the idea was born. And then I started to dream about how wonderful it would be to help people create friendships with others, and how great it would be to do events, and how great it would be to have a private community where I could interact with people on a deeper level, and maybe even have a place where there was a less, what's the word I want to use here? Less of the negativity. And all of this kind of came together to form what is now Eco Vegan Pal, which to me is still really in its first stage, or technically maybe even its second stage, but like I felt like it is still a baby, and I want it to grow into so much more than what it is currently. But what it is right now, as of just last week, is pretty close to one of my visions for it. I guess maybe I'll never be satisfied with it, but Eco Vegan Pal right now is really coming along nicely. I don't know if we've hit it yet, but we have. Last check, there was 49 members in there. I just brought in a whole new group. I've had, I think, over 200 people sign up for it, but what's interesting is that people have paid for it and they haven't actually like gotten into the system. How I've accepted payments in the past was through separate processors, so and through special deals. Like I've done a couple Black Friday deals for Eco Vegan Pal, and it's until honestly today is the very first day that you can sign up and instantly be registered and use it. In the past, you had to like wait for me and I'd have to manually bring you into the system, and it's just taken a while. So today's really, really exciting. Just a few hours ago, I finally got like approval. I had to go through all these steps and all that stuff. So anyways, there are about 50 people in there and more enrolling. The people that are a little slow to get to it, because like I said, there's over 200 people that have purchased a membership, and it's just a matter of if they decide to use it or not. And let me tell you about what it is if you don't know yet. So, hi, Green Dragon. Thanks for being here. By the way, can I ask you a question? You always type the exact same thing, and I wanted to let you know that I really love seeing you here, but sometimes I'm like, are you like a bot? Or is this like all automated? How is it that you type the exact same phrase every time? And why is my name in caps? I'm like, I've always wondered like if you go on a bunch of live streams and just replace the names. And I'm just asking out of sheer curiosity because I see you here so consistently. But I've always been curious about why you type that same thing every single time. If that's like a copy and paste thing that you do, or if you literally are typing it out each time and that's just like a little thing that you do. I don't know. I'm so curious. So back to Eco Vegan Pal. I really would love to screen share with you, and I'm very sad because the software I've been using to broadcast from my computer has not been working super well. So if you guys have noticed, I've had some glitches on this channel and my other channel. And one feature of this platform that's really neat is the ability to screen share, but I think it's my computer or maybe it's the software. They're just not working well together. My computer's super old. It's 6 years old and it just feels like it's on its last leg. So I'm very sad because I would love to kind of give you guys an official tour, but you can go to the Eco Vegan Pal website, which is linked to you down below, and it gives you a little feel for it, and you can sign up. And anyways, so within this platform, it gives you all these things that I was just mentioning. So, and anyone that's joining here after my little spiel, thank you so much. I'll catch you up to speed, and you can also watch the recording of this to kind of get more context. But Eco Vegan Pal, the online community, is a private membership community. It is a paid membership community that you get into. And my aim with it is to connect with you and me, connecting on a deeper level. I actually can get to know you in a way that I haven't really been able to do successfully through YouTube. A number of you I have known for years because you've been part of my channel for so long, and maybe you've emailed me or messaged me or met me in person. Like, that's amazing. But most of you, I don't even know who you are, you know, like you sadly are just a number right now. There are people like Green Dragon who show up every day, so I know the name, but he hasn't answered my, or she, I actually don't even know if it's a man or woman, hasn't answered my question. So sometimes I just wonder if this is like a bot. Like, I don't know. I don't think you are, but these are the things, like getting to know you guys is a huge desire of mine. And so when I have gotten to know some of you, it is incredible. For example, Debbie is somebody that's often on these live chats. I know Debbie, like I've met her. She comes to a lot of my stuff in LA. She's invited me. I'm speaking at a Veg Fest in a few weeks because of her. Like, we now have this relationship. I don't know if Kelly has been watching lately, but there's this woman, Kelly, in Chicago. She invited me to stay at her house years ago, 6 years ago in 2012. So I've met her in person. Like, I've slept in her bed. Like, that sounds weird. Like, she wasn't there in the bed with me. I was with my sister. But she actually, we had created such a bond through YouTube that she invited me into her house, and then she gave me keys to her house, and she left and stayed somewhere else so my sister and I could stay in her house and sleep in her bed. Like, these are the relationships, just a few of them, that have come out of YouTube. And, you know, YouTube, though, it's I feel like they're developing. There's the new community feature of YouTube that I haven't really used. But anyways, part of the vision behind Eco Vegan Pal is to have that private platform to chat. I've used Patreon. A number of you have supported me on Patreon, and I'm so grateful. But Patreon did not work out in the way that I wanted it to. I wanted Patreon to be. I was curious about it. I still use it, but I don't put a lot of work into it because it just hasn't really served in the way I wanted. I wanted it to be a place to connect. I wanted it to be a way for me to give you guys more and for us to have a deeper relationship. And Patreon has just not been the platform I wanted. So Eco Vegan Pal was designed to serve as a lot of the things that I wanted out of Patreon. And so now, my point with those statements is that through Eco Vegan Pal, we have the best way to communicate out of anything. Of course, you guys can email me, but honestly, I get very overwhelmed with emails, and it can take me weeks, months, sometimes literally years for me to get back to people through email because I get so overwhelmed by it. There's emails that have probably been in my inbox for years that I have not replied to yet. Maybe one day I will get to them. People private message me, and that can be great, but it depends. If you private message me on YouTube, I don't really check that inbox. If you private message me on Instagram, I'll reply if it's a quick response, but if you're looking for a longer response, I'm not going to sit there and type that out on my phone. And then probably the best private message platform aside from Eco Vegan Pal is Facebook, but that can be overwhelming too, and so I don't always get to that. So Eco Vegan Pal is the first place that I respond. I love the interface. It is. I spent months, maybe even over a year, researching platforms to host Eco Vegan Pal, and I found this great platform that's in there, and it makes it so easy to communicate. So you can comment on things so much easier. You can like things. It's got a lot of those social network qualities to it. You can go into the private message sections. You can join groups. It does have a lot of the same things as Facebook, but it's kind of like what Facebook was at the very beginning, before Facebook became so much about making money and the algorithms and all that stuff. Eco Vegan Pal is kind of like the original version of Facebook, and the only people that are in there are vegans and eco-conscious people, or people that are transitioning to veganism or curious about it. So it's like you're literally curating these connections with people that live like you and think like you and are looking for similar outcomes. And to me, that's so cool. And I've also put into there free stuff. So you can get my ebook for free. I just want to think of all sorts of things to give you guys for free. My upcoming ebook, Healthy Balanced Vegan Body, will be for free in there. And the best part, though, I haven't even gotten to most of them because I see some comments that I want to acknowledge. But to me, the most exciting thing is that you guys can connect with one another. And it brings me so much joy. So because it's similar, this platform, Eco Vegan Pal, that is kind of like a combination between a forum, a blog, and Facebook. And so on there, you can chat with one another privately. You can create and join groups. There's Q&A, so you can go in there, and there's a section specifically to post questions and for people to respond. You can go in there and create blog posts or write articles to share resources or share experiences. You can create these polls and interact with each other. And seeing people interact and answer each other's questions and respond to one another is so amazing. And even though it's a small group right now, that's actually really special to just have about 50 people in there. I want it to grow to hundreds, maybe even thousands eventually, but it's really neat to just see the interactions happening with those 50 people at this time. And everything is so positive. So I would say that the positivity is the best part for me. And my biggest dream realized is to see people in a supportive environment where you're not going to get some random person showing up and leaving a cruel comment about bacon or something, right? That's the problem right now with all these public platforms that we're on, is that you never know who's reading them. You never know who might come in and say something super mean or super critical or inappropriate in there. My vision with Eco Vegan Pal is to keep it a safe, respectable place. And because I'm moderating it, and as part of the reason that people are paying, because they're paying to be in this platform, they're invested in it. And, like, it's not like somebody is just like coming by to troll. Like, unless the troll really wants to spend the money to go in there and say something cruel, they're welcome to, but they'll get booted out without a refund if that's the case. So the fact that people are paying to be part of this and get all the perks and to help support the work that I'm doing, it's just created this really great group. So anyways, so Rachel, yes, Rachel's in the group. Speaking of which, she's here live, or she was when she wrote her comment. And yes, Rachel's one of the wonderful members. In fact, Rachel has been one of the super positive, sweet members. And Rachel, you will be receiving a special gift from me this month. I know that you've been waiting patiently for that, and I'm so excited to send that to you. I had a promotion for Eco Vegan Pal, and I might run it again, where if you signed up, you got a discount on Eco Vegan Pal, and you also would get a free gift in the mail from me, and a free care package, basically. And that is something that will be going out this month, Rachel. So I'm so excited to send that to you. She said that she loves Eco Vegan Pal, and that makes me so happy. You can tell that Rachel does, because Rachel is positive, she's engaged, and trust me, Rachel, it's just the beginning. Like, you got in there so early, you're gonna see so much evolution. And what Jen did said, she's also part of this. She says, I'm in the group and excited for upcoming events. So the other cool feature about this is that I'm doing a ton of virtual events. So we have online meetups, so you can come on and like do video or audio or chats with all the members or anybody who shows up in there. I've got a book club, a movie club, so we'll read books, we'll watch movies separately, and then we'll come together to have live discussions around it. There are accountability programs. So right now I have one for, I told you, accountable for meal planning, which is something I really need help with. Eventually there'll be like a fitness and getting your body into the place that you want it to be type of group. And there'll also be in-person groups and stuff like that. Board AZ, yes, thank you. Thanks for the sweet words. Assuming they were sweet. Okay, what else was I going to say? Oh, speaking of meetups, so that's Eco Vegan Pal, and that's a little intro to the inspiration behind doing a whole series around friendships. I haven't fully worked out the structure for what this will be, but every Monday at 5 p.m. when I do these live videos on this channel will be centered around friendships. And because I want to help you guys learn how to communicate, how to develop great friendships with people, how to solve problems with people, all of those different things that come along with friendship. So that'll be the theme, and we'll get to a little bit of that today, I think, but we can certainly dig in deeper once I kind of outline it further and figure out what I want this to be. And of course, you can always ask questions live, though. The advantage of being here live is that we can interact. And if you are not here live, just send me a comment for a request or a question, and I will do my best to incorporate that into future videos. So the other thing I'm really excited to tell you guys about is another huge dream of mine realized in ways I did not expect. So every year for the past almost 3 years, I have been running a vegan meetup in Anaheim, California. And I started this at the Natural Products Expo, which is still where it is. I don't know why this is coming out weird, but I go to the Natural Products Expo trade show every year, twice a year actually, once in Anaheim in March and the other time in Baltimore, Maryland in September. This is a trade show for people that work in the natural products industry. So work means that you could be press like me. So you could be a content creator, social media influencer. That qualifies as press. If you own a brand or you own a store or you work like as a healthcare specialist or whatever, anything related to natural living, if you are working in that industry, you can come to this trade show. So I clarify that because it's not open to the public. People ask all the time. You can't just go if like you, I don't know, like work at, I can't even think of things beyond the natural food industry. Let's say you work at a library. You don't work in the natural food industry, and thus you wouldn't be qualified to register for this. Anyways, I've been going to this event this will be my 9th year, which is super exciting. And I am so passionate about this event. If you follow my other platforms on Eco Vegan Gal, you'll see me talking about this a ton, and you've probably heard me talking about it for 9 years because I love this event so much. And it is huge. There are over 80,000 people that attend this event for the past like couple years. And but I just want to pause for a second. Let me answer some questions and then I'll come back to this. Board AZ asked your views on natural underarm deodorant. I use it because I need to reduce any sort of unpleasant smells. It's actually interesting. I don't know if this whole channel is about TMI. So I get like the underarm smell BO, if you call it that, only under my right armpit, which is weird. The other one I don't, and I have no idea why. But I have a lot of challenges on my right side of my body, so maybe it's out of alignment. Maybe I should do more acupuncture or something to figure that out. But anyways, so that was years ago when I realized that was the case with my body. I was like, I'm not somebody that can just like not use deodorant because I don't want body odor. So I have experimented with a lot of brands, and the brand that I currently love is Schmidt's deodorant. Love them so much because of the Natural Products Expo. I've met the owners and the social media people. They are amazing, and so I'm super brand loyal to them. I actually get approached to do sponsored videos with other deodorant brands, and I turn them down because I don't think it's fair for me to review another brand that I'm probably not going to actually use. I am open to trying other brands. I just love Schmidt's. So, and they don't even pay me at all. I think we might have done a few sponsored content together, but anyways, love, love, love them. Highly recommend that you try them. I have never found a deodorant that works for everybody. I've met some people that don't like Schmidt's, but it's a little rare. Overall, most people I've met really, really like that brand that have tried it. So go check it out. Go check out all the different scents and see if one works for you. And then Green Dragon said, I'm sometimes quiet, but I do enjoy listening to your videos. No problem at all. I just wanted to double check. I've been meaning to ask you that for so long because you're always on the videos, and I wasn't sure. So thank you for answering. And what Jen did said, I have a bad skin reaction to baking soda. I can't remember. Schmidt's has a sensitive skin formulation, and I feel like that they might have one without baking soda. So double check. I'm personally not sensitive to it. So go check on their website. I know for sure they have sensitive skin formulations. I just don't know if they're free of baking soda or not. And Rachel said Schmidt's is the only brand of deodorant that doesn't irritate my underarms. So a lot of people have different experiences with it. It just depends on what works for each of you. Okay, so back to Natural Products Expo, which is exactly where I learned so much about brands. Because I do coaching, business coaching, in addition to Eco Vegan Gal, I, over the years, have become more and more passionate about ways that I can help wellness brands and specifically vegan brands thrive. And brands I consider to be brands like Schmidt's that sell products, but also my biggest passion is brands, content creator brands. So I consider Eco Vegan Gal a brand. Anybody that is creating content and has multiple platforms and is generating revenue and really like treating their content as a business, I think of that as a brand. So that is a big part of my focus and a huge part of my career. The Natural Products Expo is wonderful for me for everything that I do. I get to experience products on a personal level. I get to talk about those products on Eco Vegan Gal, and I get to meet people behind these brands and develop relationships with them and maybe work with them or help them out in some way or another. So a few years ago, I decided to experiment by doing a vegan meetup at this expo. And the reason I'm bringing this up to you guys is been long-winded, but I like to give you guys a lot of context, is it's open to the public. Here's the insane thing that I really am excited to share. So the Natural Products Expo is available. Anybody in the world can come to this if they work in the natural products industry, and there are a lot of people, right? As I mentioned, recently, the past year or two, there's been over 80,000 people at this event, and it grows every year in popularity. So that's a ton of people, and there are a lot of vegans there. The first year that I did the meetup, I put it on Facebook, and I was just kind of like this casual thing, like, hey, we should do a meetup, great. And I had like 150 people come to it, and I was blown away. Like, I showed up at this event and looked around at just what felt like a sea of people. And this event is outdoors, outside the convention center, so technically anybody can come to this. So I will be posting this in Eco Vegan Pal, and because I've branded it where it's part Eco Vegan Gal and Eco Vegan Pal, which are technically all connected, but it will be, to me, part of Eco Vegan Pal as a meetup. So any of you guys can come to this. You don't even have to be part of Eco Vegan Pal. You can just come. So if you want to see details, I'll link to it, the Facebook link, and there's an Eventbrite link. And you can register to come to this event completely for free, and you don't even have to be in the natural products industry. You don't even have to be vegan. Just as long as you are interested in veganism and you want to be around other vegans, you can come to this event. So I'm getting up to the exciting part of this. So 2016 was my first year, and it was such a hit, in my opinion, that last year, 2017, I did it again, and I spent a little bit more time working on it and planning it and promoting it, even though it's super casual. And I had a bigger amount of people RSVP. I had like 200 or so people RSVP to come, and I was like, whoa, it's going to be twice as big this year. And then it was about the same turnout as the year before. So there was like probably about 150 people there, which was great. If you go onto the page for this, you'll see photos, and that's a lot of people, right? But here's the crazy thing. This year, I decided to put a lot more energy into this meetup. And so I started working on it last year, immediately after the expo ended. So end of March, April 2017, I started thinking about this. Then I got distracted and worked on some other things. At the end of 2017 and the beginning of this year, I was like, okay, I really want to take this meetup to the next level. And I put up the Facebook event for this meetup 2 months before it happened. So this meetup is scheduled for March 9th, which is a Friday, the evening of March 9th. Again, I will link to it. I hope anybody that's in the area, or if you're coming to the Natural Products Expo, you're traveling for that, please come to this meetup. You guys, it's not even been a month since I posted this, right? As of today, I think we've crossed 900 RSVPs. 900. That is almost 5 times the amount of people that RSVP'd last year. I can't even believe it. I know that we're going to cross 1,000 RSVPs, and every time I think about that, I get butterflies. I get so excited. This, to me, I feel like is probably a huge, huge part of my calling, is to do events. Because of all the things I've been talking about in this video, I love community. Community is so important to me, which is kind of weird because I'm very introverted. So I get anxiety in large groups, and I get exhausted by being in large groups. But what I love more than anything, I shouldn't say more than anything, but one of the things I love the most is bringing people together and organizing them. And so this event is like so thrilling to me. I doubt that all 900 people will come to this. But if it's anything like last year, maybe half the people will show up. I guarantee there'll be hundreds of people. And I can tell you, because of the past 2 years, just 100 people is a lot of people. A lot. So if we get 2, 3, 4, 500 people, it'll be insane. So here's the other thing. I see this need, right? And my passion, as I've mentioned, is so much in helping people take things to the next level, network, make connections, make friends, find like-minded people. I've decided to partner with a brand this year to make this event the next level. So this year, it looks like, it's not confirmed yet, but we're so close. It looks like I'm going to have 2 events this year. One will be the massive public free outdoor event that I don't even know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to do my best to make it something good. But what I can control is if I do the second event, this will be an indoor event. It'll be a paid event because it's going to cost us thousands of dollars to put on this event. But luckily, I've partnered with 2 brands, and there are several others that want to be involved now. And we're going to have a private, probably indoor event at a hotel near the convention center for about 100 or 150 people. And there'll be a paid entry fee, and inside I'm going to organize a cool networking event, and there's going to be food and drinks and maybe even gift bags. And I know this probably won't apply to a lot of you because A, you might not work in the industry, and B, a lot of people get turned off by paying for things. But let me tell you that anytime you guys pay for something, I will do everything I possibly can to give you a good experience. It might take me a little while. I know, like Patreon, if any of you have supported me on Patreon, bless you, because Patreon's been a struggle of mine. So there are certainly times where it's taken me a while to get people's money's worth. I will admit that. But with events, like, that's such a huge priority of mine. Like, all I want to do is give people the best experience possible with anything. So I believe this will be open to the public. Anybody could register for it. So if you want to come to both events or one or the other, please consider it. As I said, I'll link it. If you're super eager, you can go to whitneylauritsen.com and find all the details. You can search for Vegan Meetup in Anaheim on Eventbrite, or you can search for Vegan Meetup at Expo West on Facebook and find that right now. But I promise it'll be in the description as soon as I wrap up this video. So I hope that you guys see how excited and passionate I am about all this stuff, and I want to also share this with you guys to give you a glimpse into everything that I'm working on. That's really only a slice of the stuff of what I've been doing, but this is probably just gonna be so much more, and something I talk about a lot more, because both the online community that I'm building with Eco Vegan Pal and these events that I'm doing are ways for me to help you guys reach your goals, whether you have personal goals of creating friendships or you have professional goals of creating connections with people that can help you reach your professional goal and other professional goals. I'm there for you, and that's really what I've discovered that I want to do, is to help people connect with each other so that they can help each other, right? I think that that's a huge part of what we all yearn for, is we want to make friends, we want to find love, we want to feel good about ourselves, we want to be validated, we want to feel supported, we want to feel heard, listened to, we want to have somebody to turn to during our hard times. And I do my very best to be that for you guys virtually, but I want to be able to take that to a whole new level through all of these things I've mentioned. So let me go into some live comments. Then I'm going to share with you guys a couple quotes from a book that I'm reading. We'll wrap this up, and feel free to write anything else in the meantime. Board AZ asked, does Schmidt's deodorant stop sweating? It is not a antiperspirant. I actually don't believe that antiperspirants are good for you because they're blocking the pores in your armpits, and we're designed to sweat. So if you're blocking it there, you can cause a lot of issues. And most antiperspirants are filled with chemicals that can actually be really, really harmful for your long-term health. I don't even know if I've ever seen a natural antiperspirant because I think that it's very contradictory. I don't think that antiperspirant is natural. So thus, I don't know if any brands tried to make it natural. I don't know. But one thing that you can do for that is to there's cool pads that you can get to put on the inside, inserts, I think, to put on the insides of your clothing that can absorb sweat and moisture. Or just trying to find clothes where that doesn't, impact you. Like certain materials or certain colors will hide it more than others or absorb it in different ways. I would just try to find constructive ways, natural ways to reduce sweat if that's a concern of you. I wouldn't do anything unnatural because it's just not worth whatever long-term effects that could have on you. And thank you to Jen and Rachel for your encouragement. I'm blown away. 900 people. I think I started getting really excited when we were at 300 people. And then the day that I feel like my mind was blown was when I saw it reach 700 people. And I was like, are you kidding me? And now that we're almost to 1,000, and this is the reason that I need to do this stuff, is because there are almost 1,000 people that want to come to this free, chaotic event. You guys, you can go on there. There's a video from a few years ago that I need to repost. It's we're outside and it's just a bunch of people. To me, that sounds like a nightmare. If I wasn't leading this, I would get to an event like that and be I'd be able to stay there for 5 or 10 minutes, right? That's too overwhelming as an attendee. As the host, I'm super excited. I'm the more the merrier, but my dream is to do organized events indoors or at a really cool outdoor space where everybody feels like they have a purpose and that everybody feels like they're getting something out of it and they're having a really great time. I like controlled environments. So eventually that'll happen. I'm doing my best to do a smaller scale version of this, but maybe next year I'll have a 500 person indoor event and it'll be amazing. We'll see. All right, so I wanted to read from this book, and if anybody else has anything they would like to say. So I've talked about this book in the past. It's been a little while since I've mentioned it, and I still haven't finished it. I got this book, Beyond Beliefs, I think in August, maybe September? Wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure it was August. Yeah, August of 2017, right? And I still haven't finished it. I'm so close, but it's a very dense book, and I've done a lot of other reading, so I keep alternating between this and other books. But this is honestly one of the best books I've ever read. I'm super interested in psychology and communication, and this book is subtitle is A Guide to Improving Relationships and Communication for Vegans, Vegetarians, and Meat Eaters. I will link to my affiliate link on Amazon, so if any of you guys want to get a copy of this, please use my affiliate link because that's a way for you to help me keep the revenue going here on this channel. Do you know that I make $5 in ad revenue from this channel a month? I'm not in this for the money, but any extra income can help me do more and more with my work. So I will link to that. And this book, there's actually an event coming up later this month. I think it's In Defense of Animals is doing an online webinar with Melanie Joy about this book. So you definitely check that out. That's listed in Eco Vegan Pal. And this will be back on the Eco Vegan Pal book club. I was going to do a discussion of this last year, but it got a little it wasn't as organized as I needed it to be. So we will be discussing it later this year. So that's one of the perks of joining Eco Vegan Pal, is that you get to discuss books like this with other people, and it holds you accountable for reading it. One of my things that I would like to do for this friendship series on this channel is to pick different sections of this book as kind of lessons. Like, I'm kind of looking at this as a educational guide, because this book is so helpful, and every time I read it I'm like, wow, like this is such a good point. So I'm just gonna start at the beginning and pick some quotes to share with you, some things that I've highlighted here. So the first chapter is called Vegans, Vegetarians, and Meat Eaters in Relationships: The Problem and the Promise. So great. There's a section here called The Hidden Cost of Becoming Vegan, which is super fascinating. And then she talks about the relational immune system, which is super fascinating. And in here, the section that I highlighted says, in veg/non-veg relationships, this germ is a psychological intruder, a way of thinking that causes us to disconnect from each other and also from ourselves and the world. This intruder is called carnism, and it is the invisible belief system or ideology that conditions us to think and feel certain ways about eating or not eating animals, as well as about vegans and non-vegans. Carnism can undermine the well-being of otherwise secure and connected relationship if it remains undetected. So Melanie is very well known for a book that you may have heard of or read called Why We Eat Pigs, Wear Cows, and Love Dogs. Something, I don't know if I got the order correct. Maybe it's Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs, and Wear Cows. I don't know. It's something like that. And it's about this idea of carnism. So this comes up a lot in the book. And if you don't know much about carnism, I really encourage you to read either this book or that book or both, because it's fascinating. And if you are vegetarian, vegan, or dating or have friendships with somebody who is, or you're just on this channel and you want to understand me better, understanding carnism is super, super useful. Another section about veg/non-veg relationships. Let's see. Members of non-dominant groups live in a world in which their experience is largely misunderstood, disrespected, and invalidated. So if veg/non-veg relationships are to be healthy and sustainable, it is essential for non-vegans to become supporters of the vegans in their lives, in large part because vegans' belief, feelings, and needs are not supported by the rest of the culture. So true. And this book really digs into why that's the case, which is super fascinating. And she really encourages people to respect the person beneath the behavior. So those are just some of the those are my main highlights, I should say, from the first chapter in this book. It's really skimming the surface, but I've highlighted a ton in here. And my goal is to finish this book and to share with you guys some more and use some of the concepts and lessons in this book to guide our conversations in this friendship series of these live videos. And if you do want to be part of the deeper discussions that will be happening on Eco Vegan Pal, I forget when I've scheduled that, or maybe haven't even determined when yet. But that will happen very soon because I love this book so much and I want to discuss it more. I was even thinking of asking the author, Melanie Joy, to be part of the conversation. So that's possible. I've done that in the past. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to wrap up this video, so if you guys have any other comments or questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If those come to mind later or you're watching the recording, you can always put them in the comment section. I read most of the comments, but I generally like to respond to comments through video form instead of text, unless it's super important or I just feel inspired to write you back. So no, I'm never ignoring you guys. I prefer to communicate via video. And Jen just said, respect the person beneath the behavior. Wow, lots of vegans can learn from that. I'm telling you, Jen, this book is life-changing. So like I said, I will link to this in the description, and I think this should be on everybody's shelf. Like, if you are vegan, vegetarian, you must have this. Or if you're dating a vegan or vegetarian, I think you should have this, because it's all about that communication and understanding the psychology behind why we struggle with one another. I think this book just has so many great concepts about relationships. You could take away the vegan, vegetarian elements of it and it would be insanely useful. So, what else was I going to say? I think that's it. Look forward to seeing you guys next Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific. I think that I'm on track for that schedule-wise. Let me just double check, because I don't like to make promises that I can't keep. But I've been actually structuring my schedule around these live videos. So yes, we are good for February 12th at 5 p.m. back here on this channel. We will be discussing friendship more. We'll be digging more into this book. And the book of the month for Eco Vegan Pal, by the way, this month of February is The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. That's another book highly, highly, highly recommend to you. So if you haven't read that one yet, I think that's a really great reason to become part of Eco Vegan Pal right now, because you'll be held accountable for reading that and then discussing it. That book is one of the most useful books I've ever read. I read that book back in 2008, I think, and I didn't even own a copy. I borrowed it from somebody. It wasn't until last year, 2016, I think, when I finally got a copy of my own. And I think I might have loaned it to somebody. I have to look through my bookshelf. But my point is that for like 8 years, the ideas of that book served me. I didn't even have to reread it. It was so helpful. And I have turned so many people onto that book, and it's helped me so much in my relationships, romantically, through my families, through my friendships. Like, it's amazing. So if you want to, be part of the conversation, I hope that you will. And yeah, okay, that's it. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being part of the community here. I've got so much planned for you in 2018, including the podcast, which I keep talking about, that will happen. It's just my attention right now is focused on Eco Vegan Pal, the community, and the meetup and the event that I'm doing, and all my other projects. So I've just got a lot going on, but you guys are such a big priority for me. I just want to find more and more ways to connect with you, to help you, to support you, to be part of your lives, and I'm very, very grateful that you're part of mine. So if I haven't heard from you before, I'd love to hear from you in any content text, whether it's this video or another one. Please speak up. There's so many of you that I don't even know who you are. So tell me who you are. You can do that publicly or privately. It's another one of the beautiful elements of Eco Vegan Pal, is that you could join it simply to just private message with me in that safe community and read other people's posts, and you don't have to say a word. You can just be there to read, just like you are here on YouTube. So know that that resource is there for you. All right, until next week, I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your week. I wish you the very best with your own eco-vegan journeys and your own relationships. And I will see you very soon. Bye.